Welcome to the Global Pulse, a short video series where our experts break down a trending topic in international business and why it matters to you.
Happy International Education and Global Entrepreneurship Week. Earlier this week, the Institute of International Education released its annual Open Doors report. And this is a report that provides insights into student mobility numbers, including both outbound study abroad and inbound international student enrollment in the U.S. The data covers academic year 23-24 for international student enrollment and is a year behind for study abroad, covering 22-23. Let's start with study abroad. Over 280,000 U.S. students studied abroad in the year of the report, which is a 49% increase over the previous year. While that might seem like an incredible jump, and really it is, we're still recovering from the COVID disruption to travel and the lasting impact of inflation on study abroad accessibility. So what does this mean for the U.S. economy? It means that while more students are in fact gaining global experiences, certainly compared to last year, they still represent less than 10% of all university students in the U.S. This is a tiny fraction of the 2.6 million students at universities and colleges around the U.S. And when they do study abroad, they're primarily studying in Italy, the U.K., Spain, and France. They're not primarily studying in the fastest growing economies like India, China, Turkey, and Indonesia. We understand that cultural and linguistic understanding, market understanding, is critical in today's global economy. And without this specialized knowledge of these fast-growing economies, the question becomes, will U.S. companies lose out on business opportunities? Probably. A national survey of business leaders conducted in 2014 by the Title VI SCI program, of which the University of Maryland is a part, this survey noted that 61% of respondents had failed to take full advantage of international opportunities because they lacked international capabilities on their staff. The other part of the survey, which provides data on international student enrollment, doesn't really paint a better picture. Yes, it reports that there are over 1.1 million international students in the U.S., which marks a over 6% increase over the previous year, marking the highest enrollment there has ever been. And this is great for the U.S. economy, as international students contribute nearly $44 billion to the economy and create over 300,000 jobs. And this data is provided by NAFSA, the Association of International Educators. For Maryland specifically, that represents $1 million and 10,000 jobs. And this is why we think that higher education is really one of the greatest exports of the U.S. What's worrisome, however, is that new student enrollment increased by less than 1%, which means that the surge in overall enrollments is explained by students who are already here and by an increase in enrollment in OPT, or optional practical training. And this training gives recent grads the opportunity to remain in the U.S. for up to 3 years for on-the-job training related to their major area of study. And that's where the potential issue lies. With fewer visas being issued for new international students to come to the U.S., we're sure to experience a bubble with economic impacts. I say it's a potential issue because simultaneously, the biggest competitors have introduced or even lowered their caps for international students. And these competitors are namely Australia, the UK, and Canada, where international students account for roughly 30% or more of all enrolled students. By comparison, international students make up only 6% in the US. So these caps could potentially pave the way for more demand for students to come to the US. The question then becomes, would enough visas be issued to meet that demand? It's hard to know. What's certain, however, is that the health of the U.S. economy depends in part on both study abroad and international students.